previous video was something of a preamble to this one, so it might be worth listening to it if you haven't done so already. I had intended to cover verse 492 in it, but didn't actually quite get round to the verse, so it was something of a preamble. But let's get on with verse 492 now. Do not discriminate by discrimination. To discriminate is characteristic of the Parikalpita, or imagination. Depending on the imagination, discrimination is evolved. So there's a couple of terms here which, if you've been following the videos, or some of them anyway, that you're hopefully familiar with. Discrimination and Parikalpita. There's actually a video devoted to Parikalpita. Parikalpita and Paratantra. Parikalpita is very much how we imagine things to be. We tend to not think of imagining how things are. We tend to believe that we know how things are. But actually, it's just our understanding. We'll reinforce that understanding in many ways. I understand this to be true because it says it in the Holy Book, or I believe this to be true because I've seen it for myself. This is how people behave, this is how the world is, and I'm going to play that game and make sure I come out on top, whatever. So we've got reasons for bolstering how we believe things to be. But this is the Parikalpita. It's how we imagine things to be. And Parikalpita is normally translated as false imagination. Because how we imagine things to be is false. Because it's not how things are. Any notion, any understanding we've got of how things are is false. It's our own limited rule of thumb understanding. It's the little personal map by which we navigate through this life. And if that's all you're happy doing, go and get on with it. But since you're watching this video, I suspect you're probably interested in something a little bit beyond that, a little bit beyond how we imagine things to be. And we're told that discrimination is characteristic of this false imagination. And that's exactly the right word, because we discriminate the facts that suit our story, that suit our understanding. And this is how it goes. Depending on the imagination, discrimination is evolved. We carry on discriminating. We carry on finding these facts which fuel our understanding, which fuel our false imagination. And we've got this intriguing injunction at the beginning of this verse: do not discriminate by discrimination. Discrimination is actually the work of the mind. It's the work of thinking. It seems to imply, though, that there's another way to discriminate. Well, there is one way that we need to discriminate, and that is to know that we're discriminating. We need to see for ourselves the situation I've just described about our ordinary understanding, about how we believe the world is and how this influences our behaviour. This is what we're caught up in, and we need to see this. We need to see this. And we can only see this with awareness or mindfulness. Spiritual practice is about coming back to this awareness. This is the whole point. But we've got this discrimination going on, this thinking, trying to come to some sort of understanding and to keep reinforcing that understanding, giving us a worldview. And this is what we get sucked into. So become aware of this. Don't judge it. Don't dismiss it. Don't allow it to fuel some mood tone. Just be aware of it. And in this awareness, we have an alternative. We have an option. There's a direction that we can head in beyond conventional understanding, beyond all understanding. The next couple of verses reinforce this. 493. One's habit energy is the origin of all things, which are mutually and uninterruptedly knitted together. As dualism is external to people's minds, there is no rising of it. So one's habit energy, this is our mood tone. We fuel our moods, even though our moods are painful and dismal and all the rest of it. We fuel this. We can't help it. It's just our habit energy. We're addicted to it. We're addicted to our moods. We don't want to let go of them. Doesn't matter how rotten they are, how miserable they are. They're me. I don't want to let go of that. So we're being told here that our moods, our mood tone is the origin of all things, because it's what discriminates from all the stuff that is going on and chooses what it wants to feed itself. That mood tone feeds itself, so it discriminates accordingly. It's a kind of knot that we get entangled in. It's a state of dynamic tension. We act in accordance, and we believe in accordance. We understand in accordance with our own habit energy. It constructs our picture of the world, our picture of an external world. So this is what's referred to here as all things which are mutually and uninterruptedly knitted together. We see a pattern, we create a pattern, and this is what informs our existence. But then we're told that dualism is external to people's minds. There is no rising of it. Dualism is the belief in an external world. There's a me here experiencing this external world. But this external world is something that we objectify. We say that that world is out there. But it's not. This is just our understanding. All there is how we imagine things to be. So we shouldn't talk in terms of an external world. We can talk in terms of our understanding of an external world. But that's all it is. It's a projection. We objectify what is completely subjective. It's like being in a dream. You believe that dream is real. You're giving that dream reality. You're not saying this is part of my mind. You're saying it's external. It's all out there. it isn't. There's no rising of it. There's no rising of that duality. So again, we need to come back to observing our situation, observing our tendencies to project an external world in accordance with our habit energy, our mood patterns. So verse 493 is focused on this understanding of an external world. 494 comes back to an understanding that there's an individual experiencing this world. Because of mind and what belongs to it, there is discrimination. The ignorant are comfortably established in the triple world. That an external world of appearances is evolved is due to the discrimination of self-nature. So the triple world here is the world of body, property, possessions. This is what we discriminate, and this is what we keep busy with for our ignorant lives. It says we're comfortably established in the triple world. It doesn't sound so bad, but this is what we do. We're maintaining our comfort zone. It's all about maintaining our comfort zone. The thing is, our comfort zone can be very, very uncomfortable. Like I said, we have our mood patterns, and these moods can be quite unpleasant. But it's what we keep reinforcing. It's what we're comfortable with in a perverse kind of way. So this mind and what belongs to it, these are the tendencies of the mind. Or we could include with this sensory information. There is discrimination. And we get on with developing our understanding in terms of how we imagine things to be, because we believe we have to preserve ourselves in this context: body, property and abode. Our understanding of the world then is very much dependent on our notion of who we are. So let's be aware of this situation. The next few verses continue this theme, which is a bit of a shame, because prior to them we'd had this revelation that the external world is mind itself. It's almost as if we come back to realization, and then we get caught up in ignorance once again. We get caught up in our mood habits. We get caught up in samsara. But once we get caught up in samsara, our only option is to become aware of this, become aware that we're once again caught up in samsara, and practice, come back to that awareness. This is the dynamic of enlightenment practice.